Hello and welcome back to the Website Investing Show. How is everybody?
Doing good, thank you.
Well.
Doing
well.
Yep.
Well, we've got a really exciting show for you today. We hope you like it. Yeah, we've got a case study coming up that we're going big on it. So we've never been this big on a website before, but we're going this big. We've done similar projects where we've gone pretty big or very big with customers and seen success. We also got our big data project we keep referring to, which is coming out soon, which has given us further confidence to go ahead and go big on a case study and building out a site. And yeah, so we're going to be. I won't reveal all the exciting news right now, but probably the biggest case study I've seen around, seen anybody do. So in the next 4 months, we're going to create a beast of a site, and hopefully it's going to be awesomely successful, and we can share all that with you along the way. So we're about eight weeks in. I won't give you any of the headlines. I'll save that for Adam in a minute. But who we got here? So we got Malwix, we've got Daniel, we've got Dan, we've got Tim, we've got Entertainsia, and we've got Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, shout out to Andrew. Andrew is a fellow Welshman, I believe.
Oh, hey, Andrew.
Used to run Swansea SEO Meetup.
Ah, right, cool.
Yeah.
And Birdie, of course. She just elbow coughed her way into the conversation. Okay, so yeah, just a little bit of housekeeping before we go any further. So if you're new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. The more likes, the more subscribers we get, the more likes we get, the more action we get on live streams, and just the more engagement in total. So we'd really appreciate that if you could take the time to like and subscribe to the channel. If we get 35 likes today, which I hope we will, then we'll also give away some niche website builders merch. That's t-shirts, mugs, caps, that kind of thing. So you have to stay to the end of the show to get that. But if you start hitting the like button now, we get to 35 by the end of the show, then we'll do that too. Building Empires is our online event. We're running a 5-day event in January. We ran a 3-day event as a trial in June, and that went really well. Some great speakers talking about website investing and how to make money through growing content sites. We're going bigger with a 5-day event in January, February. We're still going to have 3 days of speakers, but in between we're going to have 2 days of workshops as well. So go head over to building.empires.live to register for the next event. Also, if you'd like to watch the replays of June's event, you can go and check that out at the same place. And always the best deals that we have on offer are available in the description. So if you'd like to take a look at any of our services, content, link building, age domains, that kind of thing, then go and check out the link in the description for a deal. Okay, that's the housekeeping done. So, yep, as I say, today's show we're going to talk about a case study. I'm going to hand over to Adam very shortly, and then we have Elena breaking down a couple more domains from our age domain inventory that are available to purchase on our site. But I'll get her to take you through some of the plans that we put together for those age domains. So, Adam, hand over to you for the
kick it off.
Case study.
I made a presentation, so get shared. So yeah, you kind of alluded to the whole premise of this. So I mean, the title of the case study is what happens when you publish 2,000 posts in a month. I mean, it's a bit clickbaity because that's not the end goal. The end goal isn't just to publish 2,000 posts in 4 months. The end goal is to build a content site and share the journey of how that looks, what goes into that, and then all the way through, ideally, we hope through to a successful exit and share that journey and how it looks. But this is kind of like the overview. So we're building an authority site on an age domain. We're creating and publishing just over 2,000 posts by the end of November, and we are doing aggressive link building to get it to a DR60 by the end of the year. Now, just a couple of notes on that. One is DR60 plus. I mean, DR is a third-party metric. We know this before, like people comment, oh, DR is, what are you talking about, DR? DR is a third-party metric, but it does give us an indication of like link profile and how strong we need a link profile to be to get to certain numbers, which kind of leads me on to my next point is this case study in part was influenced by our big data project. And what we've done for that is to look at almost 5,000 content and affiliate sites. We've looked at them across multiple niches. We've looked at their link profile, in particular their domain rating. We've looked at how many pieces of content they have. And we identified what we thought would be a really good niche that would be expansive enough for us to go in and build a website of this size. Now, the reason that we've got a target of DR60 plus, as I'll show you a little bit later on, the traffic levels that we want to build this site to and the monthly revenue that we want to build this site to requires, on average, sites to be around a DR60 or DR60 plus. So that's the whole reasoning why we've gone for that kind of metric. It's not picked out of the air. It's not arbitrary. It's not, oh my God, we want to get to 60 because it's a vanity metric. It's there based on the research and the data that we've looked at. So that's the overview of the case study. That's what we want to do. Like Mark said, the site was launched 8 weeks ago. So we're about 2 months into the project now, and it's starting to gain some traction. So this is why we now want to start sharing the results with you and what we've been doing. So as you know, if you've watched the channel at all, we are big fans of using age domains, starting from a position of power. This case study is no different. We found an age domain in the niche that we wanted to be in. It was a DR27 at launch. 440 referring domains, and the website had been around since 2008. It was an online retailer in the space. It was a very active blog. They talked about the space quite a lot, so it wasn't just all about kind of transactional topics on the website. There was lots of informational-based topics, which we like to see, gives the site relevance for the topic rather than it just being all about the business. And then in many cases with age domains, you don't quite know the reason why the website expired or the business closed down. But in this case, it was pretty obvious. When we looked through way back, we could see that in 2020, they put up a post saying that the business was closing due to COVID. And then the domain expired in 2021. And then we bought it in 2022 to repurpose. And our first blog post or first post on the website went live on the 8th of August. So coming up 2 months now. The first thing I want to cover is keyword research for 4.6 million words. Like, how did we approach the keyword research for that amount of content? I think, people struggle sometimes doing keyword research for 100 posts or a couple of hundred posts. When we're talking literally thousands of posts and millions of words of content, the success of the website all hinges on that keyword research piece. If you get that bit wrong, you're creating the wrong kind of content. You are creating topics maybe that won't rank, or you're going after keywords which just don't provide any value. So for us, the first step obviously was keyword research, but we spent a lot of time doing the keyword research for this website. And it'll come as no surprise to regular viewers of the channel that we used our tomb raiding method pretty much exclusively for this website. I know we've talked about lots of other different types of keyword research methods on the channel over the last couple of months, but for this one, we pretty much exclusively used tomb raiding. And the reason for that was because of our big data project, we already had 385 websites that we'd uncovered, which are already in this space. Like, we had a ton of data that we could work with. We had a ton of websites that we could go and look at and see what are they doing well, and what can we do better. So just a quick overview of the tomb raiding method, if you're not familiar with it. Essentially, it means we look for websites that are in the same space. We look typically for affiliate or content websites. So we'll exclude e-commerce websites. We'll exclude like traditional business websites or anything like that. We're literally just looking for competitors that we think are in our space. We then pull out lots of different domain metrics. So we look at the UR and the DR, which are Ahrefs metrics. We look at the trust flow and citation flow, which are Majestic metrics. We look at the DA and the PA, which are Moz metrics. And we'll add them all up. And that will give us is an understanding of how competitive or how strong that domain is compared to ours. If we've got a higher number than those guys, then our domain is stronger. And if we've got a lower number, then theirs is stronger. And we order that list highest to lowest. And in this case, we ordered the 385 websites highest to lowest against us. And then from there, in this case, about a quarter of them had a lower domain rating than us. So we then had, almost 100 websites, which we know are doing a really good job in terms of driving organic traffic. but have weaker domains than us. And if we look at what content's working for those guys, and we do a good job, and we replicate it, and we do a better job of internal linking, and we do a better job because we add some maybe FAQs at the end, then there's a good chance that we can steal that traffic from those websites. In this case, what we did though, that's great if we're looking at like 100 posts or something like that. But when we're trying to pull out, enough topics for just over 2,000 pieces of content, we had to go a step further with this one, and we had to try and look at, of those 100 websites that we looked at, of the best performing contents, what were the trends? What were the pieces of content that we could see performing regularly across those hundreds of pieces of content? And that's a really manual job. Literally had to export all of their pieces of content from SEMrush, run it through Screaming Frog to get the title and the H1 tags and the H2 tags, and then manually categorize it. And what I mean by that is say, okay, well, these pieces of content are location-based, for example. They could be talking about best X in X location, for example. And we'd categorize that as location, and then we move on. And the next one, another one could be listicles or roundup posts, and that could be 25 best X. And that, that could be anything from 25 best places to get a Sunday dinner, or it could be 25 types of blue and blackbirds. We class those as like listicles. So we looked at those. Another one could literally just be question and answer piece of content. Is it like, I don't know, can't think of a question and answer on the spot now. How to serve in tennis, for example, could be a question and answer based topic. And we basically did a massive project, a massive job where we categorized all those, and then using some Excel skills, we looked up, okay, of those categories, which ones have the least posts and the most amount of traffic. So of those categories, where does the opportunity lie? Does it lie where if we created mostly question answer based topics, is that where we would get the most traffic? Or if we created mostly location based posts, would we get the most traffic there? And that really then led us to say, of these, I can't remember how many it was, 5,000 pieces of content that we can see performing well across these 100 websites. Of those, we know that location-based performs the best, and that takes up 1,000. And question and answer is the next best, and that takes up another 1,000. And that's how we prioritize what posts went into that first initial 2,000 pieces of content. I decided that's probably quite a bit to take in there. So if you've got any questions, I know Chris has just popped in the chat. If you've got any questions as we go through this, pop them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. But that's the methodology that we use and the approach that we used for this website. And that allowed us, what we ended up with essentially is a list of 2,000 pieces of content that we know are working well for competitors in the same space that have weaker domains, and of those 2,000, we know we prioritize the ones that are driving the most traffic on a per post basis.
If you want to know more about the tomb raiding method, there's a blog and a video associated with it that goes into more detail. So if you search for what is tomb raiding SEO, you'll find that if you're interested in that technique in full detail.
Yes, yeah, good point. Yeah, just search on the channel list there. So this is the timeline. This is the content timeline, I should say. So at the moment, there's not a time in year because we're being really aggressive. Usually this would be spread over like a 12-month period or something, but this is how aggressive we actually been with the content on this site. The site launched last month, launched with 576,000 words of content. That was across the initial 239 posts. September so far, we've published an additional 896,000 words across 402 posts. And then for October and November, we plan to publish another 1.5 million words roughly each month in October and November. And then December is just there for overspill. So if we don't quite get that finished, or there's a little bit outstanding, or we still got content to upload, December's our overspill month. So this is a really aggressive timeline. I've never seen anyone publish this amount of content in such a short period of time. And the reason we want to do it now is because we want to show that two things. One, what's possible with an age domain with this kind of aggressive strategy. And two, I'll come on to it a little bit later on, a question that lots of people ask us is there any danger publishing lots of content on a brand new website or website out of the gate? And our answer is always no, but we've never been able to prove it until now. We have on smaller sites, but this is the fact, we're going to be publishing literally 4 million words of content in 4 months, and we don't envisage having any problems getting indexed or ranking or traffic, and the sign's already there that there's no issues with that. Got a couple of questions here, which I'll answer as we go. So Maui Wick says, how many people work for that specific website, if you can share? There's a really good question. We've not actually broken it down into individual people. All this work is done by our in-house team, obviously. So we've got a team of content writers that work for Niche Website Builders. They've been writing the content. We've got a web build team, which builds the website. So it's the same people that we've just basically added our own website as a client order. So it just gets treated the same as a client order. In this case, I mean, to write a couple of million words, we're talking about a decent chunk of the team. We'll come onto it at the bottom, but we're investing several $100,000 worth of labor hours into this project to make it a success. So I don't know exactly how many people it is, but it's a lot of time and a lot of the company resource for a short burst of period, and then we'll just get back to kind of business as usual then. And Andy asks, so when basing content on location, do you use Google My Business tools or not worth it? No, it's not that kind of location, Andy. It's more of they're more of like roundup posts with a location in mind. So for example, it could be 25 best bars in Brooklyn, or 25 best cocktail bars in Brooklyn. And it's a roundup post where you look at, what are the 25 best cocktail bars. And it'll include a little bit of data around, address and telephone number for the 25 bars, but there's nothing to do with actual location. There's no Google My Business embeds or anything like that. It's not that type of content. It's more of an informational piece of content. Luke says, with this type of aggressive strategy, how quickly do you expect to start reaching traffic milestones such as 100,000 page views? I'll come on to that at the end, because I'll show you where we're at with Google Analytics and Search Console so far. It's always really hard to predict kind of when you'll hit certain milestones, but using our data project, we can kind of gauge at certain levels whether we are on track or whether we're above average or below average. But I'll come on to that a little bit later, Luke, if that's okay. So that's the content side of things. I mean, it's a massive push on content. It's a big project up front to do the keyword research, but that's only half of the picture. And if you listen to any of us talking, we always say there's there's only two things that make a website successful, and that's good quality content, going after the right keywords, and link building. And I'll caveat that by saying do those two things consistently over time, but really it boils down to do good quality content and build good quality links, and almost always you'll be successful over a period of time. And for our link building part of this project, we've gone really aggressive again. We're using a combination of redirecting in other age domains, high quality, niche relevant age domains, and we're also doing Harrow link building. So again, we've treated ourselves like a client of Niche Website Builders. The Harrow team are working on our project the same way that they would work on any client's project, pitching the same amount of times and getting the same kind of links. And same for the 301 redirect. We offer this as a service. It's the exact same process. So far, we have redirected in 3 age domains. So this is in a space, and we picked this space specifically because based on the data project, and also because we know that through our history of securing and sourcing age domains over the last couple of years, we know that this is a space where age domains come up quite often. So we know that we should be able to find good quality, high relevant age domains in this space with ease. And that's key to helping us with our link building. So the first month in August, we acquired a UR28, a DR33, 316 referring domains age domain, hyper relevant, almost in the exact same space, was actually another business in the space. So similar kind of story to our main URL. They'd been a business. It looked like COVID had happened and they'd shut down, but had great links. This one had great authority links. They'd been mentioned in the Washington Post, LA Times, I think Vice.com they'd been mentioned in as well. So really high authority links in the same space. And so far in September, we've redirected in the DR27, 174 domains. And I'm hopeful that the second one I've got in September there, the DR20 with 181 domains, will be finished being redirected in today or tomorrow before the end of the week. So I put in September. It's not currently live, but hopefully it will be live by the end of the month. And then I left October, November, December blank because we haven't secured any new domains for October yet. But like I say, I'm hopeful that we will find some. And I think we want to get to 6 domains at least by the end of the year. I mean, we're not saying that we won't do more. We're not saying we won't do less. We can only redirect in good ones that we find. But if the opportunity arises and we can find, say, 8, for example, then we definitely won't rule out redirecting in 8. The thing I should mention here is that these age domains, they typically are a couple of $1,000s each. They're the kind of high quality domains that you would build a money site on. They're not poor, low quality domains. We're only redirecting in ones of the highest quality and ones that have hyper niche relevance. And that's key. Whenever we talk about redirecting age domains or working with age domains, that's key for us anyway. And this is what the redirect process looks like. So just to give you an idea, there's a couple of ways you can set up 301 redirects of one domain into another one. I see lots of people, or I used to see lots of people talk about redirecting them directly to the home page. So you take your age domain that you've bought to redirect in, and you just redirect everything to the home page of your website. Now, we think that's a bad way of doing it for a couple of reasons. One, it just doesn't look natural. If a business was to acquire another business, it would be unlikely that they would just redirect one domain into the other straight to the homepage. They probably wouldn't do that. And also, you redirect it in there, and what's the purpose of that? Like, you just redirect it to the homepage, and then you've got no control really unless you update the homepage of how that power is spread out. So we've got a very specific process on how we handle this, and we call it our acquisition process. Again, like Mark mentioned, we've done a whole hour video talking about how we set up these acquisition pages, exactly how they're structured, what goes into them. So if you want to learn more really in depth about how we set this up, go and watch that video. I'm sure Chris will probably put a link in the channel for you now. But in essence, what it means, or the process at high overview, is we set up on our main website something we call an acquisition page. And that acquisition page in the first paragraph talks about the old website, the website that we're going to redirect in, and welcomes the old readers and says, hey, we've acquired this website or this domain. Welcome to all the old readers. Unfortunately, the website's closed down. However, this is our content, and we talk a little bit about our website and all the good things that we've got, and we do a little bit of kind of bigging up our website and how it's going to be useful for them. And then underneath that, then we create what we call a skyscraper piece of content that's on the topic. So, for example, if I give you an example, if this was a sports site and we've bought a tennis domain to redirect in, we would create an acquisition page talking about that, and then the skyscraper piece would be it could be something like tennis throughout, a history of tennis, everything you need to know. And throughout that piece, we would internally link through to all of our tennis pieces of content. So, we would weave in that 4,000 words, maybe, as many internal links as we can, all through our tennis content. And when we redirect that age domain into that acquisition page, it powers up that acquisition page, and all that power from that age domain is then spread through those internal links into those individual blog posts, and it really, really powers up that category. And we can do this going category by category. So again, I'll stick with the sports example. We've got a sports site and we had an age domain about tennis. We could create a whole bunch of content about tennis and make a tennis category. We could do the same thing then if we found a soccer age domain. We could create a whole new category about soccer, a ton of content about soccer, and power up that category with an age domain about soccer. So it's kind of like a brief overview. Chris has popped the link for the other video in the channel there, so go and have a little look at that if you're interested in finding out any more about that. And then the other element of link building, like I mentioned, is Harrow. And if you're not familiar with Harrow, Harrow stands for Help a Reporter Out. It's a free platform. Anyone can join. And it's basically where journalists are creating content, creating articles, and they're looking usually for expert advice or expert quotes or expert opinions on the pieces of topic, on the topic that they're creating. And they reach out via Harrow and say, hey, I'm writing a piece of content on tennis. I'm looking for a tennis expert to give me a quote on how to get in shape for tennis. And then on the other side, you would pitch to that journalist and say, hey, I'm a tennis expert. This is how you get in shape for playing tennis, and hope that they then mention you and that quote in the article and have a link back to the website. And I'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of Harrow in a second, but Harrow is awesome. It's a form of digital PR. None of these links are paid for. They're all earned links. And that is great because obviously, you know the cost of paying for links. But also it's natural. Like, these are tier 1 links that you probably couldn't buy, or if you could buy, they would be prohibitively expensive. I'm just looking at link number 5 there, for example. It's a DR89 on a website that gets 10 million visits. Like, if you were to reach out to those to try and buy a link on their website, 1, they probably wouldn't sell it, and 2, if they did, it would be crazy expensive. So you're able to secure links that you probably wouldn't otherwise do in Harrow. And in this case, the campaign's been live for almost 8 weeks now. We launched it pretty much as soon as we launched the website. And so far, these are the links that we've managed to secure, the team have managed to secure. So everything from a DR43 up to a DR89, and 2 in there with a couple of million visits, AHRS traffic every month. So really, really high quality links, niche specific. And where they're not niche specific, they tailor the quote to be niche specific. So, it could be that it's on a business site. The article is talking about sport and how you get in shape for sport, and the quote could be, I'm a tennis coach and this is how I get my students in shape, for example, and it's related to tennis, it's related to sport, and the link comes back that way.
Should we take a few more questions, Adam, before we
Yeah, let's do it.
Go. So, content length, min and max you created.
Yeah, good question, Andy. So we don't actually come up with the length. We let the competition tell us and guide us. So as part of the tomb raiding methodology, that tomb raiding keyword research, what we do is we pull out all the best performing pieces of content, and we look at how long their pieces of content are. So when I said all those weaker sites and the best performing pieces of content, we get a big list of that. And then we run it through Screaming Frog and we look at how long those pieces of content are. And then we make ours slightly longer. So we cover the same kinds of topics in there. We touch on the same aspects that they're touching on, because we know that's probably the reason why they're ranking for that piece of content with a low link profile. But also we make ours better. And we do that typically by adding in an FAQ section at the end, or in general, just making it a little bit better. And the FAQ section usually comes from people also ask questions. So we take the primary keyword for that article, we Google it, we look at what the top 3 or 4 or 5 people also ask questions on, we'd include those. And that's a great way for adding topical relevancy. Those questions we know that Google think are hyper relevant and related to the article title because they're showing them in the search result. So if we answer them and show them back to Google, then it's a great way for us to create topical relevancy too.
Awesome. Do redirected links have the same value as links that are made for the site itself with specific anchor text?
Yeah, I think they have different purposes, Ahmed. So I think what you're probably referring to there are links which you can build and control the anchor text, typically a guest post or a niche edit or that kind of thing. And those kinds of links are great if you're pointing them to individual pages and you can use the anchor text to increase keywords, for example. So you can have a mix of exact match, partial match, and branded anchor text pointing to an individual page and push it up. When we talk about these redirected links, we're not trying to power up individual pages with them. What we're really trying to do is give the site overall site authority, power up the overall category, and you can't control the anchor text of a site, links that are being redirected from a 301. Typically, you can't control the anchor text from Harrow links. They're built typically to the homepage because that's where journalists will link to. They'll say, "Hey, this is Adam Smith, the tennis expert from tennis.com." You can't really influence how they link that. You can't influence the anchor text typically. So they provide two different types of links, and they have two different uses, if that makes sense.
I think Ahmed is also saying do 301 directed links are as powerful as ones that are linking direct rather than via a redirect. I think the answer to that is that for the most, there's definitely been studies that have shown that you lose a little bit, but for the most part, you're going to get 90% plus of that link juice flowing through. So yeah, you lose a little bit, but nothing to worry about.
Yes, Daniel, we have. Curious to know if you've worked out a budget for this site for other people to do it without a team. It's our last slide, which show you exactly how much we've spent so far at cost. So, if someone were to come to these website builders and say, I want to do this, this is how much they would pay. Obviously, it's a bit cheaper for us because it's our own team. We're just not making any profit on the work because obviously we just pay out costs. But yeah, we've got all that broken down at the end.
Cool. Andrew, with your Harrow snippets, do you create a blog and cut from it for the journalists, or provide the whole blog in an email?
Yeah, do you want to go for Mark?
Yeah, as I say, there's horses for courses. I think you get all sorts of different requests through on Harrow. Some ask you to fill out a questionnaire. Some ask for a quote. Some ask for more in-depth detail. So it really depends on what they're asking for and how confident we are we're going to get the link as to how much kind of effort we put into it. So I think the answer to that really it's horses for courses a little bit. We don't do it the same every time. It's very much dependent on the ask from the journalist.
Yeah. Any more questions?
That's it for now.
Cool. We touched upon this, but this is why we love HARLING. So we could have just gone with 301 redirects for this project. That probably would have been enough to power up the domain to the kind of DR that we want. But HARLING's awesome. They're awesome for high quality links. Like you say, you couldn't buy those kind of links. You couldn't really acquire them typically. But there's also a fringe benefit of Harrow links, and that's that they create a digital footprint for our site's persona. Our site, and most of the sites that we work on, and most of the people that are creating niche or content sites, they don't typically tend to use their own face on the website. They have a made-up persona, and what that means is that person is basically an unknown in the space. They're brand new. They don't really exist. They've got no history. They've not got no background. But through Harrow, when you start getting mentions in tier 1 websites where they're literally quoting that persona, they're quoting that persona's name, they're referencing that this persona is an expert in the topic and this is the website that they run. What it means is we're actually turning that person into a real authority figure. We're getting these links, we're getting these mentions, we're getting our name mentioned. And I mean, I put Google Eat Anyone. Eat is expertise, authority, and trust. There's no better way to start building expertise, authority, and trust than by getting mentioned by name as an expert on a specific topic on tier 1 authority sites in the space. I mean, that's the definition of expertise, authority, and trust. If you get a link from a DR89 with 10 million readers every month, and they say you're an expert on tennis, I mean, how much more authority and trust and expertise can you get? And that's the whole point with Harrow for this, is to build up that digital footprint of this person. Yeah, the links are great, and yeah, the links are awesome, but in this case study, we're using it primarily for this building this Google Eat, which we think is going to become really important, and the links are just great to have as well. That's a good question. Glenn says, speaking about Eat, have you used the physical address on the website? Yes, we have, but in an interesting way, Glenn. So obviously the business used to be a brick and mortar business. They even had a Google My Business profile. And what we've done is we've worded it on the About Us page, on the Contact Us page, that the business no longer trades from the address, but this was the old address. And then we've used a little bit of schema to mark up that. So we're kind of making use of the old address a little bit and playing on the fact that it's been around for 8 years and they've been established there. But if you don't have that, there's other things you can do. You can go and rent a FedEx post box, for example. You don't have to have an address in the US, is what I'm saying. You can go and rent a FedEx post box and you can put that address on the website. As long as Google sees an address on there, then I think that's fine. Does this really matter too much? I don't think so. We've seen great success where this hasn't been done, but in this case, they already had an address in a Google My Business, so it kind of felt a shame not to take advantage of that. And this is the link building results so far. So we're 2 months in. The DR has gone from a 27 to a 39. We've increased the referring domains from 440 to 705. That's increasing daily pretty much because these redirects, not all of the links show up in Ahrefs straight away. It takes some time for them to show up. So we see referring domains going up daily. And this is what I wanted to share a little bit. This is just a snippet from our data project. We're just in the process of getting a data scientist to run through some of the numbers with us. That's almost ready to start sharing. But essentially, what we did is we looked at thousands of websites and we looked at what the average domain rating was and what the average traffic was. And then we looked at kind of what levels of revenue we'd estimate those guys would get if they was earning a $25 EPMV. And what we noticed is, you'll see at the end, our goal for this site is to build it into a 7-figure exit, which means it's got to be earning at least $25,000 a month. That means we've got to be at least DR58 plus. We've got to be at least that from our data, unless we massively overachieved. If we just wanted to be average, middle of the road, the same as what, these 3,000 websites that are getting 680,000 visits a month and $18,000 or $90,000 a month in revenue, we need to be at least a DR58. And we know it's higher because we want to do more than that. So we didn't pull that target out of the air. This comes from our data science. And these are the results. So Google Analytics for the last 30 days, pretty awesome considering this is only the second month of the website being live. We've had 2,083 users, and we've had 2,900 sessions. Really high average time or average session duration, 3 minutes 39, and page views is really high, 8,688 page views. So everything there is really healthy. People are spending quite a bit of time on the site, more than usual for content kind of site. And you can see there that it's grown massively even over the last 30 days. We were down around 30 daily visitors at the start 30 days ago, and now we're almost touching 200 daily visitors there. So site's growing massively, and we expect this to continue. We'll keep sharing updates on this case study every couple of months to show you how this growth is, but we expect this to explode over the next couple of months. It's just going to explode. Of those 600 pieces of content that are currently live, there's only about 400 of them have actually indexed, or 500 I think have actually indexed right now. So we're expecting more to come from that, and then also more to come from the new pieces of content that we add. This is the interesting part I want to show you. So there's been no issues with indexing. This answers the question, and people always ask if there's an issue publishing content so fast. No, you can see here that on the left, that's the pages that are indexed, and it's fine. It's going up nicely. Almost all of the content that we've published is indexed. And then on the right-hand side, I put this in here because this is interesting. This is crawl request data from Search Console. You can go and have a look at your own. But what we find is, especially with age domains, is they already have a history with Google anyway. They've been live for a long time, so it's not like a fresh website. Google already trusts it. And because of that, they give it more crawl budget. They give it more total crawl requests. And what that means is Google will come to the website quicker and come to the website more often to find content, usually with an age domain because of that history and trust. And here you can see the more content you publish, the more they're going to come back. And it's almost the opposite. People say, can you publish content too fast? We say, no, you should publish it faster because that means Google is going to come back and keep looking for more content then. And you can see that spike at the end there. That's in the second month where we started publishing. We published, I can't remember what we said at the beginning there, 200 posts in the first month and then 400 and something in the second month. And that spike there is Google saying, wow, there's a lot more content on you now. I'm going to come back and start crawling this site often. This is Google Search Console data. So impressions are going up nicely. Clicks are coming up nicely as well. Tons of impressions here now. What that means is, the way that we interpret this is there's loads of content now that's not quite on page one. You can see the average position is. As this content now starts dropping onto page one, we expect those impressions to start turning into clicks a lot more. And we expect to see clicks start exploding. We expect it to ramp up really, really quickly from here. And we've also got some Google Discover, which, if you don't know what Google Discover is, it's an app for Android users, and it basically is like it's like a content discovery engine. You go on there, your preferences of content that you're interested in, and then it shows you like cool posts and topics that you may be interested in. In all honesty, I've got one of my own personal websites gets traffic from Google Discover, and I've spent a long time trying to reverse engineer how you get posts into Google Discover because it can provide tons of traffic. My other website, some days gets 4,000 to 5,000 visitors a day from Google Discover, and I've read as much as I can. I've spoken to different people. There doesn't seem to be any clear-cut way on how to optimize for Google Discover, really, apart from doing the basics, which you should be doing anyway. So I was really excited when I saw this because we've not done anything different for this. However, one page is in Google Discover. It's only one page right now, but I mean, this could be the start of something massive from Google Discover. Like I say, my website's got a couple of hundred pieces of content, nowhere near as much as this, and some days gets 4,000 to 5,000 visitors, daily visitors from Google Discover. So if this is the start of something similar with way more content, Google Discover could end up driving a massive amount of traffic here. Sorry, I don't have any tips on how to optimize for Google Discover. If anybody else here does, though, I'd love to kind of chat with you because, yeah, I'd love to understand how you get in there, how to do this more often, how to do it for clients. So yeah, if you've got any tips, if you've got any tricks, if you've got any anything interesting you think I should read, please let me know. And this is the page probably that most people have been waiting for, is project spend and project goals. So primary domain, we actually spent $3,500 on the initial domain. When you think back, it was DR27. So it's around about kind of, what we would typically pay for a DR27. If we were to purchase the content at a price, like a customer price, it's about 4.2 million words of content. That would cost $322,000. We're doing 6 months of Harrow at our highest package, which is 5 links per month, or a minimum of 5 links per month. And then we've budgeted then at least $15,000 for the age domains that we're going to buy and redirect in. And so far, like I say, we've bought 3 of them. Those 3 so far have come to about $6,000, on average about $2,000 each. So our current spend on the project, I mean, it's a hell of an investment. We've spent just over $350,000 in the space of 2 months on this project, which is it makes my eyes. I don't know whether to be happy, excited, or what about this number, but it's a big number. And if we just go over to the right hand side, like this is the goal. The goal for the project: get the site to visits per month, 1 million sessions per month. Get an EPMV of at least $25 now, and I know the space, and I know people that have sites in this space in Mediavine and AdThrive, and they're getting at least $25 EPMV. So I know it's possible in space. A monthly revenue of at least $25,000, and then exit for a cool 1 million. I want us to have a case study where we say we scaled, and we sold our site for $1 million, and everyone came along for the journey. If we do that, our kind of return on investment on that initial $350,000 will be 183%. In reality, it'll be much higher because we'll have a ton of months of that $25,000 revenue, or however much revenue that it also brings in. So in reality, it should be quite a bit more. I imagine by the time we get there, that monthly revenue would have paid a massive chunk of that $350,000 back, and that $1 million exit will almost be all profit. So that's it. That's the case study. That's the introduction. I mean, no pressure now, right? Because we've kind of announced it, and we've kind of given ourselves these lofty goals. But it's really cool. I mean, from a personal perspective, it's not often we get to work on sites of this scale. I mean, even our own websites, they never
ever.
Yeah. So it's been really cool to work with the team and to pull this together. I mean, there's been a ton of effort and a ton of work, and if any of the team watching, thank you very much for helping us with this project and doing all the bits from the web build to the upload into the Harrow, to the link building, to the Elena finding the 301 domains, age domains to redirect in. It's been a massive team effort, and yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be great. And that's it. Thanks. Any questions?
Yeah, got a few more kicking up here. So here's Dan. Would the age domain Skyscraper Post be classed as a satellite site?
A good question, Dan. No, it's not actually separate to the website. So the age domain Skyscraper Post actually sits on the main domain. So you just create a new post or a new page on the main website, and that's where that content sits, and that's where you redirect the age domain into.
Yeah, check out the acquisition pages video on our channel that Chris has linked to further up. That'll give you the full picture on that. Revenue streams display only, yes, at the moment, right? So
yeah, that's the exciting bit, I think. EPMV there is $25 is only for display ads. When you start adding in other things, I mean, when a site gets to that level and it's getting 1 million plus visitors, you can pivot it into whatever you want. You could create digital products, you can create courses, you can create communities, you can add in affiliate content, and that will just increase the e-commerce. It'll just increase the EPMV massively, really. EPMV is just how much revenue you make on 1,000 page views. If you started adding in all those other additional revenue sources, EPMV could be way higher. It could be massive. So that monthly revenue could be way higher than $25,000 a month.
Yeah. Malwix, by the way, is indexing the author of the site or blog matter for SEO? Should we show the writers of the content as authors, or can we just exclusively use the company or website name as author?
Yeah, so we create an About Us page that's indexed, that talks about the author, talks about their history and their background, has an image of them. And then every piece of content will have an author box on there. So at the bottom, typically, we use a plugin called Starbox for that. It's free. It allows you to create a little author persona that sits at the bottom of each page. It has the image, a little bio. You can link out to their social profiles if needs be. In this case, the website only has one author. That's the persona for the website. And every post has her at the bottom as the author for every post.
Awesome. Nice work. Nice work. Can't wait to see the progress. Yeah, we can't either. Great credibility for a £1 million sale. Best wishes and appreciate all your insights. Yeah, no, it'd be amazing if we did get there. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Okay, I think that's about it for the questions. So we'll move on to you, Elena. And oh, hang on. One more question, maybe. I missed the start. Have you set a time period for the case study? Will you keep posting content until you reach the rev goals?
Yes, we have. So we've got a 18 to 24 months is our timeline for it. If it happens sooner, that would be awesome. But I mean, being realistic, most websites need 18 months, 24 months to get to these kinds of levels. I mean, Income School didn't call their course Project 24 for no reason. It takes a year plus for these kinds of things to play out. In terms of where we still keep publishing content for this, we're doing a massive drive up front, and we're publishing pretty much all of the content that we want to publish up front. However, we're not just going to leave it sit there. We will go into maintenance mode, and that might mean we add 10 pieces of content a month going forward. But the majority of the content will be added in the next 4 months.
Go watch the start of the video, Daniel. He talked about it a bit more. All right, awesome. Elena, over to you.
Okay, that was awesome, by the way, Adam. Very interesting. Okay, so first domain is this one, which is Sweet House. So as per the name suggests, it's something to do with sweets. So yes, the niche is baking, so it's in the food niche. Just to make sure that everyone's aware that those two domains that I'll be tearing down are both available to be purchased on our site. So just go to nichewebsite.builders and go to the H domain inventory. So it's a DR31, 10 years old, and we have some really, really quality backlinks in that mix, some really good competitors I want to show you. So I'm going to get right into it. Okay, so Sweet House, as I said, it was baking. So let's take a look first at what this site looked like, what was the purpose of it, etc. So as we're seeing here, it has a card and a checkout, so which tells us that it was an e-commerce site. But this was actually a physical bakery and a cafe type of thing. So these guys baked cakes and desserts and cupcakes and stuff. They catered very heavily on weddings. And as you can see there, they are targeting weddings very heavily. As we've just seen in some of the pictures, they do a lot of wedding cakes. And they had their shop. So I've clicked on the nuts here, so you can see that you can click on them and shop for these things, but they have like a selection of different things that you can buy, all sorts of things. That is why they have a kind of a checkout and e-commerce system, because you can purchase things online. So yeah, I mean, very straightforward, clean domain with the serving the purpose of being the digital footprint and also generating sales online on their, via not just via their physical shop, but via online as well. They also have a really big Instagram following. They have just over 4,000 followers on Instagram. And there are ways that you can claim the Instagram account. I believe it's called catch all. And what you do is basically you put forgotten password. And if the recovery email goes to on an email that has the domain on it instead of at gmail.com, for example, then there is a way you can claim that. So this is a fantastic kind of opportunity for you to be able to claim a big Instagram following. And as we're seeing here, the last post was 137 weeks ago. So really the owners kind of checked out. So yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity. Now let's jump on to the backlinks. As I said earlier, we have some really, really good ones in here. And the first one is Airbnb. We have Eater, very good niche relevant backlink, refinery29.com, timeout.com. We have Martha Stewart. Now, before I move on, I just kind of want to highlight, that you are going to see a lot of wedding-related backlinks in here, and this is why, this is mainly because these guys really heavily targeted weddings, so because they did wedding cakes and all that sort of thing. So, which is in the good, and I have a strategy that I've put together that we can utilize all these beautiful backlinks and incorporate weddings in somehow within our strategy. We have thecuts.com, we have localyahoo.com, we have postgazette.com, philly.com. Airbnb Canada, Style Me Pretty, which is another wedding-related niche relevant link. And we have Washingtonian.com, we have Domino.com, Wedding Chicks, another wedding one, very good wedding one. We have SpoonUniversity.com, Grasshopper.com, StreetFightMag.com, 100layercake.com as well, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful niche relevant backlink as well. And lots more beautiful links down the line as well, which is carrotsandcake.com, mommypoppins.com, and much more down the line as well. So all in all, a beautiful backlink profile with very high, very high authority backlinks, some of which are really, really niche relevant, which is also very important. So yeah, I think we're up for a great start. Now let's move on to the anchor text profile. And typically what we tend to look for is after I've filtered highest to lowest referring domains, we kind of want to make sure that the top anchor text are branded. If you're seeing a top anchor text that is kind of specifically targeted to a specific keyword, that can, make us think that there has been some link schemes involved. But what we're seeing in this case is that at the very top, 4 of the top anchor texts are actually branded, which is excellent. And down the line, we have more kind of branded, but with the kind of the niche in mind. We have a little naked one here, naked one here, naked one, and then we have a few generic. So really, anchor texts don't get any cleaner than that. So another fabulous point about this domain. Now, I like to call this the cleanup process. So this is the best pages by incoming links. And I have filtered the referring domains highest to lowest again. And this is showing us that the majority of backlinks are pointed towards the homepage, which is good. But some links will be pointed towards internal pages. But as we're seeing here, 5, 2, 2, and 2, and then 1, not a huge amount is pointing towards internal pages. So if there is a little bit of a cleanup and potential pages that we will need to recreate, it doesn't look like it's going to be a lot involved. So again, like another bonus really for this domain. Okay, so onto the strategy. Obviously this domain focused heavily on one part of the food niche. Like it would be a little bit, the food niche is so big that you can have a domain dedicated to just one area of the food niche. For example, in this case, baking and desserts. It would be a little bit, I think, unwise if, for example, we go after listicle types of content, for example, how to make spaghetti bolognese and savory stuff. I think we should really keep it solely baking and desserts. And trust me, there is a big market just for that. So here's kind of what I have in mind. Now, this is how we can utilize these beautiful those beautiful backlinks that were related to weddings. So we can do listicle types of content around, for example, 20 best flower wedding cakes ideas. And I just kind of want to show you what this looks like. So if I Google that, first of all, we have these beautiful pictures. And as we're seeing here, the majority are listicles here. So we have 20 floral wedding cake ideas to add a dose of romance, 47. And these are listicles types of content. Like these are pretty straightforward pieces of content to put together. And it looks like this. Like it's basically pictures of beautiful cakes, a little bit of description, and this is a fantastic way that we will be able, to utilize weddings somehow within this domain. So the other one would be for us to target listicle types of content around all sorts of different desserts. Like, for example, I have here, example would be like 10 best chocolate cupcake recipes, 10 best or 50 best lemon cheesecake recipes, and all that sort of thing as well. And of course, we should target informational pieces of content, and this can be anything like how to store buttercream, should I refrigerate I don't know, chocolate icing or chocolate buttercream, and things like that. So a list of listicles and some information pieces of content in there. Now, the monetization can come from display adverts, but there are, I think, a lot of opportunities on cooking and baking equipment in this case. Now, and the reason why I think there's higher opportunities for desserts than there is for savory is because when you make cakes or do any sorts of desserts, you tend to need like different unique equipments. Like if you're making spaghetti bolognese, you're going to need a chopping board and a knife, something you already probably have at home. But for example, if you're trying to make a cake for the first time, you're going to need like a piping nozzle, you're going to need a cake stand, you're going to need all sorts of different unique equipment to be able to achieve the bakes you want to achieve. So I think there's a lot of kind of opportunity within the affiliate space for this domain as well. Okay, so moving on to the first competitor, it's called the tastytip.com, DR20, so less authority than us, and it's generating 42,000 per month according to Ahrefs. Now, here's kind of what they're doing. They only have 233 posts, which is an enormous amount, and they have like things like how to melt white chocolate chips, snickerdoodle recipe without cream of tartar, and this one is getting like really good search volume. So these will be the kind of things we'll be doing, but we'll do it in probably listicle style. So for example, we'll do something like 10 of the best snickerdoodle recipes, and this one is specifically done it's basically one blog post for one recipe, and I wonder whether they've embedded a video on this post, because embedding videos is quite a kind of unique thing to do, especially when it comes to recipes, because you'll be able to apply schema which can help you generate more traffic. And I just want to kind of check whether they have a video on this post. The blog post these days is so long from everyone. Okay, so they've got a card.
Especially recipe-wise.
Yeah.
About grandmother's history.
He's probably telling his grandma's story about how she made snickerdoodles back in the day. There is no video. So again, this is already like a first improve this and add more value to this piece of content. Because some people, it's not just schema, but it can help your user and the person visiting. Some people watching videos, some people love watching videos, depends on how people learn. Personally, I like watching videos. So instead of me reading through this essay here, I'll much rather watch a video than read this. So yeah, again, like this is another kind of fantastic opportunity for us to apply more value. And yeah, so we have other things here. We're not going to be using everything that this domain has. For example, they have how to reheat a burrito. As I said, I think we should stay away from savory stuff. We should really focus on baking and dessert in this particular domain. So we have other things here like lemon pie, Arizona Sunshine lemon pie. How long is cake good for, which can fall nicely into our kind of informational pieces of content. And we have biscuits from pancake gravy, cookies for banana pudding, and just other things that I think we can take a lot from this domain in terms of can banana pudding sit overnight. So yeah, a lot of things that I think we can pick from this domain that as I just saw by showing that post, we can apply things and we can definitely add more value. And the second example is family favorite holidayrecipes.com. It's not as high authority or isn't generating as much traffic, but the domain only has like a couple of, like, doesn't have a lot of posts. It has 95 posts, and they have like all sorts of like sugar-free banana bread. Can you freeze cornbread, which I think could be something we could do. Marbled cookie brownie. We have does food coloring expire? This is relevant to us because a lot of cakes and desserts require food coloring in certain occasions. Hot chocolate with chocolate chips. Can you freeze mascarpone cheese? A lot of buttercreams and icings are done with cream cheese, so this is, I guess, relevant to us. German muffins, eggnog custard pie, and other stuff like that. So something we can take from this domain as well. But this domain for me is like the best domain, the best example. So we are the DR31. This one is DR32. So literally like neck and neck, the same as us. And it's kind of can show us basically what can be achieved within the cake space and like dessert space without authority. And this one is generating 125,000 per month. And the domain is called cakedecorist.com. So really definitely up our street and exactly something we are really. And yeah, so this domain is targeting desserts and sweets and all that sort of thing. So when you bake cake or like when you make cakes, you often need to mix different colors because, for example, if you have I don't know, for example, if your daughter is asking for dark cake with, I don't know, with some yellow stuff going on in there, then you will need to mix colors and achieve X to do that, to ice your cakes. So this is where kind of pairing colors is a part of the baking process in certain situations. So this is helpful content we can be doing. Dipping chocolate that hardens, of course, why not? Two-tier cakes, pricing, interesting. This is quite interesting. Elegant blue birthday cake. I wonder whether this is a listic or just an individual. Let's take a look. So I think it's okay. So it's just a buttercream. So it's not a listicle. We have how much to fill a cupcake, which is again interesting. Does buttercream frosting need to be refrigerated? How to make gray with food coloring. As I said earlier, this is something that people do. Oh, I think this was a listicle. So this was red velvet cake designs, and oh no, it's not. Okay, but again, this one's got a video. So this is where I see videos are. And it looks like these guys have got their own YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. Because Cake Decorist has shot this video, which is cool as well. Their posts aren't long. Another video. Wow. Adam, do you recommend embedding 2 videos?
I was on mute there. Yeah.
Adam?
You can do, like, you can embed a video, and then it looks like probably one might be like you can embed as many as you want. But if you were going to like to be in the food space, you can embed a video in the blog post, and you can embed a video within like a recipe card, for example. That's totally
They
fine.
don't seem like they've embedded on the card. That's strange.
Yeah, that's weird because they've got an image on the card, but they don't have a video.
Yeah.
Definitely the option to embed a video in a recipe card.
They've embedded one here and one here.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, I think if you go scroll down a little bit to that first video, that's not a video that is a video they've embedded, but it's a video for adverts. They've embedded that video just to show adverts on, rather than so you can see that this video is not on YouTube, right?
Okay, fair enough. So this is an actual just a video uploaded. Is that
This is a ad network video player basically. So
okay.
For example, in the back end of Ezoic, if you want to monetize some of your posts with video and you've got a video, you can go in, upload the video onto the back end of Ezoic, paste a little short code in here, and then it'll show the video, and then it'll also show an advert around it. Whereas this one's a YouTube.
I can see here adverts going around. It's following me.
Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Well, I guess that this is where they've made an error because they haven't really embedded it. I think it's important that you embed the video on your card. Am I right?
Yeah, because when you embed the video in a recipe card, it adds video markup for the recipe itself. So sometimes, for example, if you Google a recipe and you look at the search results, you can see they've got a little video carousel. Can't get in that carousel unless you've got a video embedded and marked up in your recipe card.
So again, like here's another point we can improve. So I like this. I like this a lot. So okay, brilliant. Thank you. This makes a lot of sense. So okay, so going back, so as we're seeing, they aren't really doing many listicle types of content, which I think they can benefit. For example, we can easily do how to decorate. I don't know. I guess not this one. I want to find a post that they have. I guess you could do a listicle of like 50 gold icing recipes or something like monster truck cake. Okay, let's take a look at this. You can definitely do like listicle with this, like 10 best monster truck birthday cake recipes, ideas or something. let me see what they've again. They've embedded the video, but they've embedded in it's not on the card, guys. Well, they do have like one more recipes. Check out our YouTube channel. But again, like, okay, that's good to know though. That's good to know that we can already see a narrative improvement. I thought this was a great example of a domain that really is doing exactly what we're going to be doing. So yeah, I mean, this is the first one, and I'll move on to the next one, which is
Sure.
elizabethpatch.com. So really, based on the domain name, it's kind of hard to gather what the niche is about. But as the industry states below, it's arts and lifestyle. And I really cannot wait to unpack this domain because I have some really good competitors to show you. And as we're seeing at the example below, DR17 is generating 250,000 per month according to Ahrefs. So some wonderful things I want to show you. Even though the domain is DR16, I have got competitors that are at the same level and absolutely smashing it in the space. So I'm going to share my screen again and do the same. So, okay, so Elizabeth Patch, what is it? As we're seeing here, happy art for everybody. It was run by this beautiful lady that she basically named the domain after her name. And she has a BA in, she had a BA in drawing and an MA in painting. So she's, your proper artist that has proper artist degrees. And she had a passion for illustrating and painting and empowering women with all sizes, basically. As she's stating here, she has had many students. She knew many students who suffered from eating disorders and things like that. So her purpose was to, empower that and be body positivity and, create art based on, these things. So as you can see, this explains how some of her things are a bit more on that spectrum. And as you can see, she had a blog, she had books, she had illustrations, she shared her art, and she shared thoughts on body positivity as well. Now, personally, I think we should really focus more on the art side of this because we really don't want to be talking about eating disorders or body dysmorphia or like things like that because they're too medical. I respect what she's been doing and the art she focused on, but really for me, I think 90% of this, of the focus of this domain will be to do with art. Of course, I think, a foundation has already been laid out to do with body and body image and things like that, but I think there is a smart way we can approach this. But again, as I said, I think the main focus on this will be art, and you'll be surprised of how awesome the art niche can be. Elizabeth Patch, year 17, and let's take a look at the backlinks. Sorry, all my tabs need to reload. Okay, so backlinks, Pinterest, and the Pinterest I'll really recommend if you have the time. I really recommend, especially within the art space where it's so visual. I do really recommend that you get yourself a Pinterest account and really share some of your posts on Pinterest, and you can really kind of generate more traffic to your site and bring up some nice social signals to your site as well. We have WikiHow, which is understandable, and I would classify this as a kind of a niche relevant backlink because WikiHow is basically showing you step by step how to achieve something, and with art, especially with art sites, they will tell you step by step how to paint a flower, for example. So I think this is a great backlink. PsychCentral.com, you will understand why some of the backlinks are related to psychics and health and stuff like that is because obviously she was focused on body positivity, etc. CBN.com, goodmenproject.com, selfgrow.com, which explains, loving yourself, growing as a person, things like that. Everydayfeminism.com, aboutus.com. We have girlsontherun.org, qualitymag.org. The body is not an apology, another beautiful niche relevant backlink to what she basically, tried to achieve through her site. We have IamMyOwnStyle.com, the Six Girls.com, the Curvy Fashionista. Again, this is something that she empowered and, wanted to embrace people to accept their curves, etc. And more nice backlinks down the line as well. So all in all, I think fantastic backlink profile nevertheless. anchor texts. It's very similar to the last domain that I just showed you. We have right at the top 4 are branded. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. This is a naked internal page. That's an anchor text. Elizabeth Patch sketchbook blog. So this is good. And then you're seeing 10 ways to compliment a woman without mentioning her looks is, something that she discussed in her blog. More to love sketchbook, adventures at every size. She really tried to empower these things and really focused on that. Don't wait until after the diet and, things like that. But, a very clean anchor text profile, nothing suspicious going on. So it's a definite pass for me. Okay, so in terms of the cleanup process, once again, really, we're seeing right at the top, the majority of backlinks are pointed towards the homepage, which is good. There will be probably a few links that will need to be recreated, but again, like nothing too much, like probably a handful. Okay, so strategy. Like, as I mentioned earlier, I'll really try and focus this domain on the art more than anything else. And the beauty of art is because art means many things. It can be tackled in many different areas. It can be split into, it's like the food niche. You have you have main course, you have desserts, you have starters, you have entrees, or canapes. It's like different multiple things going on and a lot of different angles that can be tackled. But here's kind of what I have in mind. Listicle types of content, how to draw X and Y. This can be how to draw, like, for example, 10 ideas and 10 ways to draw a flower. Types of drawings, example would be 10 best snail drawings, five ways to draw a snail, etc. Information pieces of content, everything drawing and art. Nobody's born an artist. There's going to be a lot of people learning to be an artist, and often, at least I know from experience, a lot of people, when they retire, they want to pick up art, pick a hobby. So I think it would be really helpful if we kind of put content out there for beginners and, for more kind of for top level people, and just like anything in between. I think it would be good if we can do that. And I think we can tackle a little bit on the lifestyle, but I have something that I want to show you later on in terms of how we can incorporate body positivity. Because when I looked at some keywords on Ahrefs, body positivity and loving your body could be many things incorporated into art. For example, I'll show you later, but one of those was like body positivity quotes, which I thought was pretty cool because they can be put into a beautiful list of types of content. For example, 50 best body positivity quotes, 50 best love yourself quotes, and things like that. So as I said, I'll try to keep this to a minimum, and I'll really focus on art. I also want to really emphasize on the fact that this domain is, once again, can easily be, have schema on it, like embed videos. For example, people, as I said, the art niche is very visual, so people might want to watch a video of how to draw a flower. So embedding videos and adding cards and doing like the ingredients you'll use, like the tools you'll need and the steps to achieve that drawing, and then embed that video within that card and really be able to rank very well for that as well. With the monetization, display adverts, of course, but I also think art is one of those niches where you can monetize very well, again, because if you want to, for example, paint, like a landscape, you will need X brushes, you will need a paper, whatever you need paints, you will need this and that. So these are very unique ingredients that you don't just have hanging around your house. So you will need to order them, buy them. As we all know, we like to shop online these days. So it's a fantastic way for us to monetize. Okay, so here comes the awesome, awesome competitors. Howtodrawforkids.com. Now, just because this domain is called for kids, that doesn't mean that we should just target this for kids. Art is for every person, whatever age you are. But it's just that this site specifically was targeted for kids. It's a DR14, and can you just excuse me for a minute? My dog is absolutely chewing on something. Just a sec.
Bring the dog on the camera. We all want to see him. Everyone wants to see the dog.
He was getting a bit mad, wasn't he?
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh, wait, hold on. We can't see the dog. There is the dog. Hey! Star of the niche of the show.
This much.
He found a really loud he found a really loud package, like a crisps or something. He was like chewing it. I'm not sure whether he could hear it, but
No.
so I thought I would stop and kind of take him out. So.
Sorry, I cancelled your screen share now, so you have to start sharing your screen all over again.
Yeah, I have. I cancelled it. I'll resume now. I just want to take this packet away. So just my apologies. Okay, I will resume now. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so just because this domain was called for kids, that doesn't mean that it should be targeted for kids only. So as we're seeing, this domain is less authority than us. So we're DR17, and this one is DR14. And it's generating nearly 500,000 per month, according to Ahrefs. And if you're thinking, okay, so yeah, so here's what they're doing. Like, I have to say, you know, they are ranking a lot for images. So as we're seeing here, they are featured as an image. And some of these are like extremely high volume, you know, keywords. So if you click on it, they are doing a really awesome job. Like, I'm going to say, like, they do some really awesome stuff. Like, they show you, you know, the step-by-step process of how to draw the ship. So yeah, they are doing an awesome job, and they are ranking for specifically because they are ranking for the image. But I think that nevertheless, like, they're less authority than us, and these are great ideas. And you know, a way that we can do it as a listicle. I'm not sure this is a listicle. Yeah, it's just how to do one thing, but I think we can probably do this as a listicle. For example, 10 ways to draw a pirate ship or something, or 10 different pirate ship drawing ideas, something like that. So yeah, this is kind of what they're doing: how to draw a girl, tree drawing, bunny drawing, step by step how to draw a person. Like, these are the things that you shouldn't really need to be a kid to be to do that. So some people as an adult want to do that, so it doesn't have to be just kids. Mushroom drawing, how to draw a rose, easy anime drawings. Just the search volumes are absolutely insane. Like, who knew? Honestly, it's absolutely crazy. Pumpkin drawing and things like that. Like, again, you don't have to be a kid to want to draw a pumpkin. Like, I don't know. I'm not an artist, but how to draw a puppy, earth drawing, how to draw lips. Again, if you're an artist, you don't have to be a kid to want to draw lips. They are really cool. Like, they've done it really step by step, awesome content. But like, I'm sure there'll be ways of us to improve that. So this is the first example. And the second one is drawingwalls.com, DR13, and it's generating 45,000. And now this was for drawing, and this one, even though the domain is called drawing, they are focusing very heavily on painting. Now, if you're a painter, you'll know that often you need to mix colors. So for painters, knowing which colors to mix is a very kind of big part of the process. So what does green and purple make? That is why this domain is focusing on these queries, because they're a very important part of the painting process. So if I click on this, for example, what does this make? They're just teaching you, what these colors make. So, and this is important, I think, especially for, so sunflower painting easy. I'm pretty sure this was a listicle. Yes, this is a listicle. So 10 amazing and easy tutorials on how to paint sunflowers. So it's just a classic listicle. So you have number one, it's this one. So this is a type of content we can really, really nail, and we have done many times because it's basically, I want to show you that they also have linked the products you need to achieve this painting. And this is what I was saying when I came to monetization, because to achieve this, you need specific products, and these guys have done it really smart because they are linked the products for you to buy them and achieve a painting. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, number two is another sunflower. Number three is another sunflower. It's just a classic listicle content. That's something we can definitely do. Beginners easy night sky painting. This is what I'm talking about, beginners as well. Easy bird painting, Disney castle drawing, how to make silver color, very good for painters. Painting of sunset over water, and you get the point. This one was focused on painting. Okay, so I'm not sure how you pronounce this domain. I thought it's GVAD, or is it GVAD? I don't know. How do you pronounce
GVAD, I would say, but I'm horrible at things, so
okay.
I haven't got a great track record, me.
Yeah. So just one DR higher than us, generating 67,000. And this one is really targeting anime stuff. Like, clothes and anime mouths and draw anime and long anime hair and things like that. So if we are to expand to other, drawing, so just like I said earlier, like drawing means, art means many things. You can go to anime only, you can go to, I don't know, painting only or drawing only. And these guys are just focusing primarily on anime stuff. And I just wonder once again whether they have a video. Let's take a look. Or a card of showing you. Okay, so they have listed the step by step by pictures, but I wonder they have no cards that I can see. No cards, no video. Okay, so already like you can see how you can improve this and make it unique and special. There is no card, there is no video. No, there isn't. So yeah, just or fair enough. They have done very nice pictures and stuff, but I think we can definitely improve this. So yeah, very heavily not just anime, but they are ranking right at the top on anime. They do like sketches, like ear sketch. Let's take a look at this. Like how to do it, how to draw an ear, which is cool, which isn't really anime related, but yeah, loads of different things, and just a combination of 3 competitors that are really, some of them lower authority than us, some of them slightly higher, like this one with just 1 DR higher than us. That I think are doing really well, especially this one. That is doing incredibly well. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to get into the art space, this I couldn't recommend this domain anymore. So this is the end of it.
Thank you very much, Elena.
You're
awesome
welcome.
job. Yeah, great detail there. So yeah, excellent. Couple of good domains. If you're interested in either of those, go check them out on the Niche Website Builders website, nichewebsite.builders, in the domain inventory. Go, Adam.
Spare 350,000 grand sitting around, like we can build you a project like we're building on one of those domains.
That's true. Or we could go for a slightly smaller project if your budget isn't quite stretched that far. But but yeah, if you got it, yeah, we can happily do it, of course. But yeah. Yeah, so I think we got way enough likes. Oh, hang on. I've actually come off that page.
Oh, no.
You need 35 likes for the giveaway, and we have today. Oh yeah, 56.
Oh, it's probably one of the highest we've ever had, I think, is it?
56. Yeah, good topic today. We did a bit better at promoting it as well today than we usually do. So I think we're going to make a bit more of an effort to do that. But 58 likes, so we'll start moving up this number of likes for the giveaway as well then soon, won't we? So 35, too easy.
That must mean we've got some new people on, Mark. So flash the merch. Give them I
will flash the merch.
What they can win.
If you're interested in some merch, type something into the chat right now, because otherwise you won't be entered into the draw. Just the way that Google works, the way that YouTube works. So type something now, and we'll get you into the draw. In the meantime, I'll show you what you could win. Here's what you could have won.
Don't put the hat on.
Okay, I won't put the hat on. I'll just leave Ian with his hat on there instead. So yeah, this is what you could win. We've got t-shirts, we've got hats. So we've got t-shirts with the full Niche Website Builders logo. We also have t-shirts with the partial logo, like this. We have mugs, 2-tone coloured mugs, no less, and some caps. So if you're interested in any of that merch, type something now in the chat, and we'll. You look as good as these guys.
Tony the Merch King there on the left.
Oh yeah, Tony's got some decent merch.
Yeah.
Cool.
We should get some dog merch for Alfie. He's on the stream more than us.
Imagine having like a nice
builders. Yeah, we should. Oh, I saw a dog down the front, and there's a dash on like that, and he had like a hat on, like a cat hat going around there. Sand over his eyes. It was amazing.
Awesome.
No, Thorsten, there's not a show that goes by where you convince me to try and dye my beard a different color. There's no what's going on here. Naturally, it's going a different color because I'm not dyeing it. It's going back to gingery red. But when I'm back in the UK, don't worry, it's going to go back to being jet black. Or grey, depends. If I want to dye my hair grey, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a dog dressing gown the other day. You got Alfie and a niche website builder's dog dressing gown, like a proper fluffy one.
Aww.
Okay. All right.
Well,
30
I
more
guess
seconds. If you want to be in the draw, type something in the chat. Otherwise, you're going to miss out.
I get a bit of music going.
Get the tunes on.
Like, this isn't chill. This is groovy.
This is dance music.
That's more of the upbeat ones, isn't it? It's supposed to be called chill.
Maui Wicks, the puppet's called Alfie, or as we lovely refer to him, Merch, because
Right.
flash him to show to get the likes for the merch.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go for the draw. You've missed out if you've not put something in yet. Okay. Are we ready?
Do it.
Doing it. Boom. Okay. Ready to go. T-shirt, hat, cap, or a dog in a dressing gown coming your way.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Who's it gonna be? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
Gonna be Emily? Gonna be Emily.
Like every tumbler.
It's going to be Emily. Congratulations, Emily.
Well done.
Head over to the Niche Website Builders website. Niche Website
You just won the puppy.
Builders.
Congratulations.
And yeah, just send a message to us in the chat or on the contact form, and we'll send out the whatever you want for the merch and get you the right sizes, or the puppy in a dressing gown, whichever you prefer. Okay, great. Thanks everybody. Awesome show. Really enjoyed that one. Super excited about the case study. Love the domains you shared, Elena. So
We don't know what about next week's show. We don't know what's going on because you're in Brighton SEO. Elena's on holiday. I don't know if I want to do the show on my own. So
you might find a friend.
We might, if I can't find a friend, we might bin it off and just do the one after. Or if I can find a friend, we might have me and a guest. So keep your eyes out for a notification. We might get Chris on. Chris does all the behind the scenes stuff. Chris also has his own website that he started, so we can talk a little about that. We might do a Ask Adam Anything kind of show, maybe, where... Well, that would be boring if nobody asked questions. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll put our heads together and have a little think about next week's show.
Awesome. We have the Niche Lifestyle show next week, though, over on Doug's channel, Doug Cunnington. If you're not signed up to it, sign up to it so you don't miss out on the Niche Lifestyle show. We're talking about ways to grow a site from $500 to $10,000 on that day. So
easy. Buy one for 100,000 and then get hit in the Google update. No worries.
That's true. So head over to that'll be on Doug's channel next week if you're interested. Other than that, I think we're all wrapped up. We're done.
Done. Good stream. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Eleanor.
Thank you. Thanks, Bo.
Thanks, Alfie. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks very much, everybody. Congratulations to who was it, Emily. And we'll catch you all soon. Catch you next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks. Bye bye.